Say hello. Come here. Mommy loves you. Sorry. So cute. One more. That's it. One more. Say hello. Say hello. Oh, he's so precious. Okay. Anyways, today's video is going to be, yes, I'm wearing mini ears. I'm going to the park later. Today's video is going to be about my role change. He's just gonna chill there. Anyways, yes, I had a role change. When I was accepted to the Disney College program, I was hired as a lifeguard. And I think it's kind of funny that I got hired as a lifeguard because I don't swim. I don't like to swim. I've taken, I think, one swimming lesson in my entire life. And I was forced to by my dad. Sorry, Dad. I didn't end up being a swimmer. But anyways, so I decided when I showed up here, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that person who is going to find everything wrong with every situation. I'm going to make the best out of it. If I have to be a lifeguard for 6 months and work for Disney, oh well. So the day that I checked in, I had my lifeguard test. And I was like, you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If I'm not meant to be a lifeguard, I'm going to fail the lifeguard test. But I'm not going to do it and not try. Oh my gosh, my nose, every time I film, it's like, every time I film, my nose wants to run. Anyways, so I was like, if I fail this test, I'm not supposed to be a lifeguard, and that's fine. Now, my biggest worry about failing the lifeguard test, the whole day I was thinking about this, I've heard horror stories of everyone saying, yeah, I failed and they put me in as custodial, or yeah, I failed and they put me in as blah, blah, blah. And that was like my biggest fear. Now, I'm not going to say that if I was put in custodial, I would hate my life at Disney, because personally, I think that being custodial would be, I think I just went cross-eyed for a second there, because there's cat hair flying. Anyways, I think being custodial would actually be a really, really important role, because you get to walk around the parks and you get to interact with guests in all sorts of different areas, and I think that's really cool. So personally, I was like, there couldn't be anything worse than being a lifeguard for me. So I got to the test and I started making friends immediately, and they were asking me, oh, how do you feel? Are you excited? I'm like, actually, I don't swim. Like, I hate swimming. I'm not a swimmer. I don't like the pool. Like, I like sticking my feet in, like just sticking like my little feet in and like watching Dalton swim around in the pool, or like floating on a floaty and tanning. Like, those are my types of swimming. And everyone's like, how the heck were you selected as a lifeguard? Now, I have a funny background story on this. When I was taking the questionnaire for the Disney College program, and I was filling everything out, I was doing it on my laptop and using like the little pad on the laptop that you use your finger. And so when it came up to lifeguard, I was supposed to put no interest whatsoever, and instead, I guess my finger did something weird and it hit like high interest or something. So I guess that is what made me look like I wanted to be a lifeguard. And then during my phone interview, I thought it was weird that they kept asking me questions about, oh, do you think you'd make a good lifeguard? And I was like, well, you know, I'm not like the strongest swimmer, but my dad's a firefighter and I've seen drownings before, so they're like, oh, so you know how to handle the situation, so just like stuff like that. So I thought that was really weird. And then I got accepted as a lifeguard, and here we are. I'm taking the lifeguard test, and it's like a swimming test. So we're just swimming to one end of the pool and back, and then retrieving like a 10-pound weight from like 6 feet of water, I think it was, maybe even like 5, I don't know. So anyways, I was like, you know what, take your time, just do you. And so I start swimming, and I'm doing not freestyle, what's it called? This is freestyle. Pretty sure this is freestyle, the one where you go like this. Anyways. Oh, Dalton's getting home, that's why. So I'm swimming, and I'm swimming freestyle, and I get there to the end, and I turn around, and I'm swimming back, and I get finished, and I am the first one finished by a long shot. I'm like, wow. I don't swim. How is this even possible? So anyways, I ended up passing the lifeguard test, and I was actually proud of myself. I was like, oh my god, like, I passed. Like, it was great. And then they're like, oh, well, we're gonna go through 3 days of lifeguard training, and then you're gonna have another test. And I was like, deep breath. When I tell you, oh, by the way, it was all morning too. I had to be up early in the morning, which sucked. And so I started my lifeguard, my 3-day training, learning how to rescue people in the pool, pulling them up out of the pool, different stuff like that. And I will say, being as small as I am, it was really hard when I got even someone who was just like a little bit bigger than me, like, because I had some people who were like twice my size, or like super, super tall, or I don't want to say heavyweight because none of the people that I rescued were like heavy. They were just like, they had more meat on their bones than I did. So I struggled very hard with all of that, but I was actually proud of myself in the end. I was like, dang, like, I'm so good at this. And when we learned CPR, like, it was all stuff I already knew about CPR because my dad being a firefighter, oh my god. It was all stuff I knew about CPR because my dad had taught me CPR before, and he always keeps me updated with the new types of CPR and stuff like that. So it was really easy, the CPR and like the Heimlich portion of it. I thought it was. So when it came to day 3, which was like your group test day, you were put in a group on day 2, and with this group, you rescued your victim from the water, like on a backboard, and it was just like, it was a huge group effort, right? And the first time my group failed, it was my fault because I forgot to put on my gloves. Yeah. The only reason I didn't pass, or my whole group didn't pass, is because I didn't put on my gloves. Because we're not allowed to even touch a patient until our gloves are on. So we had to redo it. And the second time around was a nightmare. It was bad. It was really bad. Like, our whole group was just falling apart. And so when we finished, like, she's like, all of you guys failed and all this stuff, and we're like, oh, great. And the girl in my group is like about to cry because she thinks that just because we failed this portion that they're gonna term us and send us home. And I was like, Disney wouldn't bring 2,000 people here and then for some reason you didn't pass something and then send you back home. Like, they wouldn't do that. And she's like, but what are we gonna do? Yeah, she was like crying. She was a wreck. And so what ended up happening is me and the 2 other guys in our group failed. She passed. Yeah. So we had to go to the office, or some office area, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna put you back in the 3-day, 3-day course so you can do it over again. And like, the 2 guys gave them the information and when they wanted to start, and I waited till the end because I was like, if I failed this the first time, I'm sorry, but a second time is not going to do anything. I'm still gonna fail. And that's just how I felt because I don't swim. I'm not a swimmer. Swimming and me do not mix. It's like me and swimming, and they don't work. So anyways, she was like, okay, so which 3-day class do you want me to put you in the one that starts tomorrow, or do you want to wait the weekend? And I was like, how bad would it look if I wanted to be recasted? And she was like, you don't want to be a lifeguard? And I was like, I never wanted to begin with, coming into the program. And I explained to her the situation about how I accidentally put high interest as a lifeguard and all that stuff, and how I don't swim, and like blood, the sight of blood, whether it's my blood or someone else's blood, like I pass out. And she was like, wow, it's a good thing that you told me that. So, because apparently lifeguards see blood on like a daily basis. And I really don't want to have some sweet little boy run up to me with a bloody nose and be like, here kid, I can't look at you. Just put the towel over your nose, like lean over and like plug it, just don't let me look at it because I can't see it, because then we'd have a little kid bleeding his brains, like the blood out of his nose or whatever, and then you'd have the lifeguard passed out on the ground, like, it would be a really bad situation. she called her higher up, and her higher up was like, yeah, that's fine, like, just put in the computer recasted. So when I left the lifeguard test, it just said that I was recasted. I didn't know what I was going to be, and it kind of freaked me out because one of two things. One, I know I said I'd be fine with custodial, but I didn't want custodial. And two, I was really worried that if I got recasted and I did a character audition and for some lucky reason I got the role, they would be like, oh, I don't know if I want her because she's already been recasted a bunch, so how do we know that she's going to stick with this type of thing? So that was one of my other main concerns, but the lady who helped me with all this stuff, she was so nice. She's like, no, it won't look bad on you, like, don't worry about it. So I left, I went home, and they said within 2 days you'll hear from our casting department about where you're going to be working next. So I want to say when we got back when my boyfriend, because Dalton picked me up from the lifeguard test, and when we got back, the second we got back, like, we sat on the couch, we were going to turn on Netflix and watch Breaking Bad, my phone rang and it was casting already. So I was like, yes, they called me quick, so yeah. And I answered it, and he's like, hi, is this Mallory? I'm like, yeah. He's like, this is blah, blah, blah. I know his name. I'm not going to say it in the video. And he was like, so you wanted to be recasted? And he kind of brushed over the whole lifeguard thing again, and I told him, like, the same thing that I told, like, everyone else, and he's like, oh, okay, well, you know, what are you good at? And I said, I'm going to be really honest with you. What do you have open in the Magic Kingdom? Like, I don't care what it is, I want to know what's open. And so he started, like, listing off a bunch of stuff, like, God, I can't even remember now. I feel like that was like a month and a half ago, but it was really like 2 weeks ago when this happened. He just listed off a bunch of stuff, and then I heard Cinderella's Royal Table, which, for those of you who don't know what Cinderella's Royal Table is, that is the restaurant inside Cinderella's castle. And there was a seater position open, and I was like, well, I was like a server at Toby Keith's before, like, I can do that. So I was like, you know what? You don't have to go no more. I will take the seater position. And let me tell you, I am so incredibly glad that that is what I ended up with, because first off, my coordinators are the most amazing people ever, especially my woman coordinator, whose name I'm not going to say in the video. She's so cute. She's so sweet. She compliments me on my lipstick all the time. I had to give her like the color name because she wanted to buy it for herself. She's so awesome. I love her. And the other coordinators, who are all males, they're really cool too. Especially one of them, he's really funny. He cracks me up. So I'm really glad about that. And then everyone that I've met who's working in the same area as me, they're so sweet. I've only heard one girl talk crap about me from someone else, and she just said I needed to get my roots redone. And I'm like, but who's got the money for that? So that's pretty much it. And I was really lucky. And what was really cool is I've been going through training with, her name is Yu, and she's from outside of Tokyo, Japan. There's a little city outside of Tokyo, and she's from there, and it's so cool to listen to her like talk to other people from Japan in Japanese. It's really awesome. And I really, really love just being in the castle because I get to see the princesses every day, which I am like a 5-year-old little girl inside. I don't care how old I'm going to be. If Ariel or Aurora or Jasmine or Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella, whoever's gonna walk by me, I'm still gonna be starstruck. And I love that. And what's really cool is the other day, so this is just a little story, yesterday I was working at the podium, and a lot of the time that I'm there, and I can't remember how many times I've heard this since I've started working there, but yesterday I decided to count because I hear it so much. So yesterday, within the 3 hours of me being at the podium and checking people in, I had 6 people tell me, you need to be Cinderella, or you should go to a character audition, and I'm just like, I really wish. But I love when people say that to me, because then it makes me feel a little bit more confident about doing the character audition that I'm getting ready to do, because I keep just inside, I don't want to get excited about it, because I don't want to be let down. But everyone keeps making me so excited. And I just lost my train of thought. Anyways, so also yesterday, right as I was getting ready to leave my shift, 2 little girls came up to me and they wanted my signature. Like, they didn't want Cinderella's, they didn't want like Jasmine or Rapunzel's or Ariel's. No, they wanted my signature and they took pictures with me. It was the best feeling ever. It made me so happy. They were like, "You're so pretty. Can we have your autograph in our autograph book?" And I was like, "I've only been practicing my autograph my whole life in class. Like, sure." So that was awesome. And then I got to take a picture with the 2 of them. That was cute. But that is all about my role change, and I'm so glad that I changed my role because I love working at Cinderella's Royal Table. I love it. I haven't found one thing that I don't like so far, so I feel like I'm in heaven. But I need to end this video now because it's getting very long, and I seem to always do that with my videos. They just go on and on. So anyways, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to have fun in the park, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!